What's going on? My name's Guy Neighbors with Advocates for Justice Foreclosure Defense Paralegal Service. This is video number 4 in the Foreclosure Defense Strategies and Tips series. So far we have 4 videos, and basically what we're talking about in these videos is strategies and tips that you can actually use if you're in court right now. Today we're going to talk about 3 things. But first, if this is your first time here and you want to learn what's really going on with your foreclosure and what you need to be doing right now, by subscribing and clicking on the bell so you don't miss anything. So let's just get right into it. In this video, we're going to learn about how to fight your foreclosure outside of court. And I actually was going to discuss this in the last video that I made a couple of days ago, video 3 strategies and tips that you can use to fight your foreclosure, but I actually forgot to bring it up. And that video came out to be kind of long anyway, so this is going to work out pretty well. I'm going to cover it in this video. So we're going to talk about the 3 things. The first thing we're going to talk about strategies you can use to attack the attorney outside of court. This is strategies you can use to fight your foreclosure outside of court. We're going to review what the Foreign Registration Act is and why it's important. So let's just get right into it. So the first strategy that you can use to attack your foreclosure outside of court is to check with I think it's the Secretary of State. You want to call the Secretary of State and check to make sure that the lender that's listed on your foreclosure, you want to make sure that lender is registered to do business in your state. That's the number 1 thing, okay? The number 2 thing is you want to Google and research the mortgage licensing requirements for your state, because a lot of states have these licensing requirements. If the mortgage company has to have a license to collect mortgage payments, and anybody working on behalf of the mortgage company also has to be licensed, and that would include the attorney. And if you check out the website when you're doing this research, pay close attention to the words, okay? Because I was looking up the situation for South Carolina, and it said that, you know, the attorneys did not need to have the license if they, and there's a big old long list of stuff, and at the bottom of the list, it pretty much said if they was paid by the mortgage company, they would need to have a license. If they had a contract with the mortgage company, they would need to have a license. So this is a situation that a lot of people don't address because no one knows about it. So you need to check to make sure that the servicing company or the lender is actually registered to do business in your state. You need to do your homework and research to find out their licensing requirements to collect mortgage payments. And when you find that, you want to read that real close to make sure that you get that attorney right in there. Because I'm sure if you read close, you'll find out that the attorney is stepping outside the bounds of the law. And if they're not licensed, if they're not registered to do business in your state, then they can't file a lawsuit against you. It has to be dismissed. If they don't have a license to collect mortgage payments as per the statute, then that's a problem too, because they don't have standing to be before the court. So these things you can do outside of court to attack them in court to move to have the foreclosure dismissed. The third one, the Foreign Registration Act. It's called FARA, F-A-R-A. Now, I would suggest you do your research on this as well. The Foreign Agent Registration Act is actually a law that was enacted by the federal government, and it forces these agents that are working here from another country, which is what the attorneys are, foreign agents. It forces them to follow all these guidelines. They have to report all this stuff. They have to have a list of people that they're working and getting paid for. They have to have all this stuff available for public inspection. And they never are registered because it's a total pain. I read all the requirements that they have. It's a total pain. So what I always have people do is call down to the attorney's office and let them know that you'd like to schedule an appointment to come down and review their foreign agent registration papers to make sure they're in order. because if they're not in order, then the attorney doesn't have standing to be in court demanding stuff if they haven't followed the federal law. So that's why that's important. And once you pull that up and start doing your research on it, you'll figure out why that's an important deal. One of the other things we want to talk about to make sure that you understand, a lot of people think the judge is the one running the show. And I don't believe that's the case. I believe the attorneys are the ones running the show, and they meet with the judge before the hearing. And by the time you show up for the hearing, they've already got a script out how they're going to do, how things are going to roll. And that's the way that goes. So your best bet is to convince the attorney outside of court that you're going to be a pain in the butt. They don't really want to drag you in court if they can't control you. So you need to let them know that you're not going to be controlled, and you're actually giving them a hard time by doing all these things that we're saying you can do to challenge their standing in court. So if you're ready to get control of your foreclosure, head over to my website at winincourtnow.com and make your investment, and let's get started. Also, if you have questions about your foreclosure, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will answer them if I can. Please keep them short because I don't have time to read everything. I just need to know where you're at now, in the posture of the situation right now. Not everything that happened back when they were trying to give you a loan modification and all that stuff. We just need to know what's going on right now in the end, so we can maybe help you the game plan you need to get control of your foreclosure. And one other thing, don't forget, I have a free stuff page on my website where I post free documents the homeowners can use if they're fighting pro se. And I just posted, actually today I posted an entire lawsuit package in the free stuff page. And it is the wrongful eviction lawsuit package that I had listed for $850. I posted it in the free stuff page, free of charge. That lawsuit can be used for anybody that was wrongfully evicted, unlawfully evicted, or that's actually facing eviction. So that, and I think there's like 8 or 9 documents in that package that can help you do all the different things that you need to do. So if you're facing eviction, or if you've been evicted, and this package is actually a counterclaim, so you can actually file it without having to pay fees. Well, so to speak. The way we have it set up, we want you to file this document in state court as a claim. Okay, so all you got to do is just take notice of claim off and just leave claim on there and file it in state court as a claim if you're facing eviction, and then file it in eviction court to mess all that up. And when they tell you that they can't file it, you need to just tell them, look, you need to file this in this court. There's no law that says I can't file a counterclaim in this court. And what they'll probably end up having to do is sending it over to state court. And when they get around to that, you can just let them know that you've already filed it in state court, and just to send your file over there and be done with it. So that's what this is all about, this eviction, blocking the eviction process. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys. The next video, we're going to review the foreclosure process for South Carolina. And until then, you guys have a great day.